I'm going to put this so they can see the class here. All right, so I'm recording. You guys can wave. There you go. Wave at the camera for the people who are going to see this recording later. Here is our college class today. Just a few things that I want to talk to you guys about, and I'll probably think of other things during class, but I want to talk to you about that are one of the real reasons that you're taking this class. I know you're taking it to get a credit out of the way for college, which is important because it'll lessen your load, lighten your load that first semester of college. But I think also one of the goals for you in this class, and one of my goals for you, is to teach college coping skills. How to manage your time in college, how to be an effective college student. And, you know, I pride myself, I guess, in holding you to certain standards that I know that other instructors are going to hold you to while you're in college. Okay, so I want you to know what to expect for every sort of situation. So there's just a few things that I want to talk to you about as far as getting things turned in and completing assignments for college, okay? You have to use your resources, okay? I would write this on the board. You guys can write it down if you want to. But what do I mean by it's imperative that you use your resources? What resources are there, out there? Tacey? Definitely your textbook, okay? If you cannot turn immediately to that page in your textbook that shows you your list of MLA in-text and works cited citations, if you can't do that right now, you're probably struggling a little bit. You should be totally familiar with how to get to that page in your book by now. Okay, so you need to know how to use your textbook. There's tons of information in there about how to write a research paper, and I've pointed out those chapters to you, okay? What else is a resource besides your textbook?
Rubrics.
Definitely the rubric, yeah. I'm going to give you a rubric by tomorrow. I'll probably post it in there later today. It shows you exactly where all 100 points come from on this paper, because I'm guessing you're curious. I didn't want you to obsess with it at the very beginning though, so that's why I haven't given it to you. So rubrics are definitely a resource, okay? Where a lot of times are rubrics posted, which is another resource of yours? In Canvas, yeah. You have to read the assignments carefully. I think that's where some of you guys lost some points, because I found myself saying, you know, in the assignment it says you needed to do this, okay? And a lot of times in the assignment, when I'm explaining the assignment, I'll tell you where to look for other resources. Where within our Canvas are there other resources? Definitely our database is a resource, for sure. But we have that module called materials, right? Where I've posted different examples of different things. And one of those things that I know I put it up on the screen was Stacy Frisch's handwritten outline. Told you it had Roman numerals, letters, numbers, all that, okay? I know you guys didn't write a research paper last year in sophomore English, but did you get to that outline stage? Okay, I thought you guys knew what an outline was, okay? Outlines, and I wrote this on some of your papers. I'm preparing you for scenarios where your teachers require outlines. Not every teacher will require outlines, but some will. And whenever you make a formal outline, you have to have the Roman numeral and the letters and then the numbers after that. Okay, bullet points don't work. Okay, you have to have a formal outline. I'm not going to have you turn in your formal outline with this essay, but there has to be something that says outline, and you have to have Roman numerals there. So make sure that when you're looking at the assignment in Canvas, which most colleges use Canvas these days, or something called Blackboard is another one. You have to read every assignment very carefully, okay? And if you don't understand the assignment, what do you need to do? Bree? Definitely ask questions. I don't have enough people asking questions in this class, okay? And it happens every single year. The kids that are struggling the most are the ones who haven't asked very many questions, okay? So I'm available. Even if you want to shoot me an email and say, Mrs. Curran, I'm having a struggle right here, I can help you. I will get to you that day, okay? I don't check my school email at night though. I just don't, okay? I have to have some private time. I do some grading in the evenings sometimes, but rarely do I check my school email in the evenings. But I'll get to you at 7 o'clock the next morning, okay? If your teacher is not available as a resource, this is something I wanted to definitely hammer to you guys. If your teacher's not available as a resource, who would be a next best thing? Your peers, definitely. And you probably know which peers are better resources than other peers, okay? It's just a way of life, okay? But I've got some really good outlines, and I have some really good chunk ones. So I know there are people in this room who know what they're doing, and that is really a skill that you have to put yourself out there and try and master it in college, is you need to develop relationships with your professors, and you need to develop relationships with people in your class. The more you put yourself out there, the more people are willing to help you, and you guys can study together and generate ideas from each other, and you could be a good resource for other people as well. So you can't be afraid to ask questions, okay? And the reason I'm bringing this up is I had several people who still don't know how to turn in their assignment through Turn It In and have it look like their Word or their Google Doc, okay? It has to look like your Google Doc. So if you got a note from me saying, I can't, this affected your grade, or I even had one person that I couldn't see their work at all, you can't put a link to your Google Doc into Canvas, because I can't see it, okay? I cannot. So if you don't know how to put your Google Doc into Canvas, you need to ask a peer, okay? Because 75 to 80% of you know how to do it, so it can be done, okay? One other thing about resources, and I harp on this every year for you guys. I don't send you too many emails, okay, but I could send you an email. I tried to send you an announcement in Canvas, but I couldn't figure out how to get you to see it, and I was tired of grading, so I didn't mess with it. So me sending you some sort of announcement could come through an email until I can figure it out in Canvas, but you have to check PowerSchool, because I put notes in PowerSchool regarding your grade, okay? And I put several notes in there yesterday saying, I can't see your assignment, please contact me as soon as possible. Okay, I put that in there for I think 3 different people, and I only had one person come in and see me today. So you have to check PowerSchool. You need to get PowerSchool on your phone, and you need to have it set up that anytime a teacher puts anything in there that you get a notification, okay? Because if I put a note in there like that in PowerSchool, I'm doing you a favor, okay? I'm not trying to be hard on you. I'm trying to let you know, it's like, hey, I need something from you so I can get something in the grade book for you, okay? For seniors, it's not necessarily a note that's directed to your parents, because parent-teacher conferences are coming up, but your parents might see that, so be ready to explain to them what's going on, okay? But you have to ask for help, okay? And you probably saw it in your rubrics and my comments. You are to the point where things need to be specific. Remember when we talked about when I introduced the research report assignment, I said you are going to become the expert in this topic, and you're gonna have to teach me. So you have to go into it the way of, am I going to have to tell people what therapy dogs are, okay? Can I just say the history of music and how it affects young people, okay? Now, we know that Wiley's talking about hip hop, so he definitely has to have hip hop in there because the history of music would be way, way, way too broad. So I wrote a comment on his paper about, make this more specific. So those resources are those notes that I give to you. And please know that you can always ask me for help, okay? So I am gonna give you guys work time for most of the rest, or for the rest of the period, but here's what I want you to do. Because you're gonna get 20 points, you will earn up to 20 points for what you have turned in for chunk 2 and chunk 3. And I'm assuming you all have turned in chunk 2 and chunk 3. Chunk 1 can be with it. How many of you have it all together on one? Hopefully all of you, that's a good thing. Okay, that makes it easier for everybody. Okay, here's what I wanna, here's how you're gonna earn full points for this assignment. And I'm gonna give you until noon, till the bell rings, okay, 55, whenever that is, to give you the opportunity, if you're not already there, to earn the full points for this assignment, okay? So, basically, if you've got 3 chunks of your paper that are due by now, that's 60% of your paper, okay? Your paper has to be a minimum of 4 pages long of written words, not including works cited, okay? That first page with your name on it and everything, that counts as a full page, okay? To get full points for chunks 1, 2, and 3 altogether, you have to have written 2.5 pages. Okay, so if what you have turned in right now is not 2.5 pages, you have not written 60% of your paper. You agree with that? Okay, so if you don't have 2.5 pages turned in, you have until 11:55 to resubmit the assignment that you already turned in for today. Okay? You can leave the other one in there. You can just resubmit. You can submit. Have you figured that out? You can submit more than one thing because Zoe put in 2 JPEGs for her outline. Okay, so 2.5 pages. Here's the other thing. Okay, and I'm not going to ding you on this hard on your rough draft, but one of the big things that we're stressing, and you notice this on my comments so far, one of the big things that we're stressing is not only the research, not only the MLA formatting, but the synthesizing of information. Remember, I assigned you that chapter, okay? That means putting all the parts into a whole, okay? So to get full points on your rubric for the final draft and for this point of the paper, you have to have more than one source for each main point. Okay, so if you're lacking a citation or 2, go ahead and spend some time trying to find some information from certain sources so you have more than one source cited in each main point. Okay, so you've got till 11:55 to work on revising chunks 1, 2, and 3 and getting that turned back in. Okay, and then do you want to talk about when chunk 4 should be due? I'm thinking chunk 5 by the end of class, basically your entire rough draft, by the end of class on Thursday, because that'll be the last day I see you. Is the end of class tomorrow, or would you prefer Wednesday? And the kids that are in class get to vote. Would you guys prefer beginning of class on Wednesday or end of class on Tuesday for your chunk 4? Beginning of Wednesday. And then if you are all finished up with 2 and 3 based on what I just talked about, you can move on to your next chunk. But if not, you've got beginning of class Wednesday for that to be due, and I'll put a assignment in Canvas for that. The other thing that I'm thinking about that one, because you'll have almost all of your paper written, I'm going to have you run that one through, turn it in, and then we can spend Wednesday looking at your reports and you can ask me questions. That sound good? Okay, so write down beginning of class Wednesday for chunk 4, entire rough draft, end of class Thursday. Okay? Any other questions for the good of the cause while I'm recording? All right, ask me questions as we go. I'm going to turn this off. Hopefully this is helpful to the people who are gone.